Hi guys, welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. Today, we are talking about the eighth part of the 22nd chapter of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which is the 19th chapter of the book of Zion. And we are in the middle of the dissertation, so I'm just going to start where I left off. This is the guiding principle of all that is magic. Wiccan practitioners get this, as do mystics of all religions. Pot smokers, by Wiccan standards, qualifies as a spell. If I use a bong with water in it, I use all four elements. Earth is the pot, air is my breath, fire, duh. I light the bong with it. I light the earth on fire with my sacred breath, and I take in the sacred smoke, purified by water, into my spirit in the name of the unity of the god and goddess. This unity of the elements in the fires of our bowls is a sacred act. We use up our sacred smoke as soon as we have it. We choose to live in a connected state. Each moment that we live in that state is bliss. We, as it were, use it up in a day, and shall consume the glory of his forest and his fruitful field, both soul and body, and they shall be as when a standard bearer fainteth. This is talking about the state of the Zionite people in this society. Our light, our holy flame, is consumed. Our forest is burned by the authorities. We are left with few fields to harvest. We sigh and falter in the face of our persecution. And the rest of the trees of his forests shall be so few that a child shall write them. This is talking about the large-scale fires that rage around the world, wildfires that devour entire forests. This is the wholesale burning of our rainforests and timberlands. So few true trees will be left that a child can count them. This is a sad prediction of just how bad things will get as global warming comes to its full-scale force. Isaiah 17, 7 to 10, which is Zion 19, 24 to 27. And at that day shall a man look to his Maker, and his eyes shall have respect to the Holy One of Israel. When we get high and use other drugs, we are honoring God. We don't know that it's God that we feel, but we honor that feeling every time we defy the state to make the connection. We choose the God over the state. The Holy One of Israel is pot. The use of it is single substance, changes everything for the user. We connect and we connect. And he shall not look to the altars, the work of his hands, neither have respect to that which his fingers have made, neither the groves nor the images. Okay, our current religions, according to prophecy, are idol worshippers. The gods of earth are idols. Each religion has a man-made object that is worshipped. But it's not just the use of idols. We seem to put for far too great a value on what we make. We jump at every new toy that goes on the market, and it's killing us and every other thing on the planet, too. New stuff isn't sin. But when the methods of creating useless junk does true damage to the atmosphere, then there is a problem. Do we really need all those shiny baubles? Is it worth the high temperatures that are coming? No, we are making ourselves a deep, dark grave in the name of trinkets. Our consumer society cannot be maintained. The earth is only so big. It can only handle so much garbage, so much pollution, before it gets too clogged up with our needless junk. If we stopped creating needless junk today, let me see. We already did that, didn't we? It really wouldn't matter. We would still be gifting our grandchildren with an unlivable situation. We should have changed our polluting ways back in the 70s when it could have helped. But instead, we created more useless junk at the cost of our grandchildren's futures. Now, all that we can do is create a safe shelter to weather the coming storm and be sure that they are prepared for the worst that can happen in the meantime. In a warming world, all of our misuse of the planet's resources has forced us to prepare for the things that we created, namely climate change. In that day shall his strong cities be as a forsaken bow, and the uppermost branch which they left because of the children of Israel, and there shall be devastation. Our entire society is geared towards cities. And with proper implementation of ethical practices, cities can be enjoyed. But we create waste. We maintain our city structure on cheap, short-term profits, which has created climate change. Once our ability to grow and transport food breaks down, our cities will be death traps. Our society will be unable to maintain the city structure. Even as we speak, or I write, our cities are being undermined in the long term. Drought, bad weather, heat waves, the inability to keep the power running in peak periods, like extreme temperatures. So the infrastructure of our cities are being broken down even now. And all the government does is argue about ways to address the problem. They don't actually address anything. There are hundreds of ways society could break down, and we are experiencing most of them. Oil is becoming scarce. Weather is creating problems in our food chain. Economic breakdown looms as the stock market grows higher and higher. The government is so deep in debt, they have to create ways to keep running. And those are just a few examples of how our cities are doomed. And let's just add coronavirus to this one, okay? Because here it is. The prophecy says that because of the children of Israel, the cities will be abandoned, and that there will be devastation. The exodus of Zion, the children of Israel, will force many factories and businesses to close for lack of workforce. The actual labor force of the nations will simply walk away from their moneyed jobs to go build a new society for themselves, and that will be the reason the cities will be abandoned. Now, as I just said, we have to put coronavirus into this scenario now because it wasn't here when I read it, when I wrote this. So our cities are already witnessing this breakdown in action because our jobs have gone away. And hopefully, now that this is out, instead of going back to our money jobs that they're talking about not even being there now, that's good. That's okay. We don't need those jobs there because we can remake them together right where we are. All right. So I'm going to go back to this. Because thou hast forgotten the God of thy salvation, and hast not been mindful of the rock of thy strength, therefore thou shalt plant pleasant plants, and set them with strange slips. I believe that last line describes our use of hydroponics. We set our plants with strange slips. We set them in tanks or slips of nutrient-rich water. We have to do this because our society has ignored the warnings of Scripture that foretold the result of not heeding the warnings of the rock of our strength. The rock of our strength, I believe, means our ancient cuneiform tablets that was the source of our known sacred text. Our sacred writings teach us to be careful of our use of technology because misuse will end it all. And so it ends. The Torah and every other sacred text known to mankind has warned us that we must use our planet wisely or suffer its wrath. Our forgotten ancestors learned that lesson by creating a deluge that we know of as the flood, a truly horrific event that almost ended our species entirely. Now that we have forgotten the lesson of the flood, we have repeated it. We let our desires supersede our wisdom. Money has blinded us to the destruction we are causing in its pursuit. We have crossed the line that can't be uncrossed. We can't stop natural cycles. And we've ignored what's happened once before. Lamentations 4:1. Lamentations 4:1. The Lord hath accomplished his fury. He hath poured out his fierce anger, and hath kindled a fire in Zion, and it hath devoured the foundations thereof. The Lord's fury and anger are played out. The wicked have forced the creation of Zion. The fire of the eternal high has been ignited. The foundations of society have been taken away. The anger of the Lord is the result of the government's sin. Greed has created the destruction of the greedy. The plan has worked. It is done. Isaiah 4:3-5. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion, and he that remaineth in Jerusalem, shall be called holy, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem. On the great day of redemption, when first contact is made, the people of Zion come, and Jerusalem will be counted. These people, who are the blood Jews and the campers of Zion, are considered holy. They have become the realization of the human race. We are separate from other races of men, set aside to serve all life. That is what being holy means. It means to serve. Our sacred nature is to embody God. We become God so that God may speak directly to you. The Jewish family are sacred because they are the bearer of sacred knowledge, the blood of my blood. They hold the genome of the gray. That DNA was used to revive the gray race. What is more holy than the true living holy grail of Israel? So the Jewish bloodline was used to carry the purest gray DNA, and the children of Zion were created to be the most high holy priesthood of earth. And I'm going to stop there for this episode, and we will take up where we left off last time. So, may the gray watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May you always be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds be truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. May you always be happy and high. Know that I love you. We'll be together soon in a great big camp out. It's going to be so much fun. So until then, later. Because I will never say goodbye.